Yo, what's good, y'all? Blackbird Watcher says no to charges against Central Park Karen, a coin shortage during the pandemic, and Kanye for president. Yo, this and more as we are joined by the Butta Team's Scotty Rock, DJ Scotty Rock, that is, right here on Straight to Tape. Let's get started.
Stop. Hip hop, you don't stop.
I swear that is a whole vibe. That's a whole vibe.
Yeah.
Giving you a slice of unapologetic conversation. Welcome to Straight to Tape. My name is C. Perry Elysia II, the Mr. Fantastic of Podcasters Fantastic Four. First, we have the comedian, professional joke slinger, Tico the Gallo. What's good, Tico?
You know, people talk it. I live it all day, every day, twice on Sundays, 3 times on holidays.
So you in the 2-time mark today, right? You get your twice in, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, cool.
I'm like 1.5 right now.
You at 1.5 already? I mean, it's like 2 o'clock. Anyway,
You gotta have to go.
He gotta have to go. Got it. And the first lady of S2T, the quintessential hip hop mom, Keisha with a Y. What's good, Key?
What's up? I'm cute. I'm smart. And I cuss. Oh, I got a t-shirt for y'all today, too.
Uh-oh.
Show it off.
Okay.
Yeah.
All of that is you.
With my boobies all in the screen.
All of that is you. Music is your love language. You're cute, you're smart, you cuss, all of that.
All of that.
You nailed it.
Music is my love language.
Like that.
Nailed it.
And the social media assassin, our man's in them, number one, Rob Maximus.
The frack hook.
That is right. It is me. I am here. I'm in the building. Ruggedly handsome, geekishly intelligent. I am the chosen one that brings balance and a new perspective. Thank you for joining Straight to Tape. The pleasure's all yours.
The pleasure.
And of course, the host of Intelligently Ratchet, which you can see live Wednesdays, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Facebook. Bishop Omega. How are you recovering from that birthday, Mr. Omega?
Listen, man, I'm going to say this right here. For everybody that did the roast, thank you so much. For everybody that toasted me, I want to send a big F you. You know what I'm saying? You know, I think I may have given up drinking and consuming alcohol for at least the next 3 to 4 days.
We don't believe you. You need more people.
I am not messing with y'all, man. That's good. I am good, you know.
Ain't nobody tell you to drink a bottle of 100 proof. Whatever.
Listen, I did not know this, but what you're not going to do, you guys are not going to punk me. So I did it because they said it was either roast or toast. So I had to take a shot. I had to take a shot for everybody that toasted me. I cried 3 times. It was a great birthday. So, you know what I'm saying? I laughed, I cried, I got angry.
It was beautiful. Yeah. It really was beautiful. The just the outpouring of love that was showed, and laughter is always best. Like especially in this times, like people just I know that the people that make statements like, well, why you laughing? Why are you talking about this when we have all this other shit going on? I know for a fact those people aren't monolithic. I know that they care and focus on other things in their life, and that they can focus and give energy to multiple things in their lives at one time. But just laughter is the best medicine, yo. We are going through a trying time, to say the least. So to be able to like listen and laugh and joke is the best, yo. It's the best right now.
Oh yeah.
Thanks, Justin. Thanks, man. That was thank you so much.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, Justin. That was just, yeah. Tika and well, we're not gonna talk about that.
Yeah, let's not.
We're not gonna talk about that.
But ladies and gentlemen, look, we got an action-packed show today, and we got some interesting guests today. Well, we got an interesting guest. We're joined by we're gonna be joined later on by our man DJ Scotty Rock. From the world famous Butta Team. You can have a little bit of talk about going from DJing to activism, but we'll get on that
With a bullet,
with a bullet, exactly.
So
let's get on top.
what's he doing? Is he like taking records and like just throwing them at people, like decapitating them, like like the flying guillotine? I mean, you know.
Yeah, you got to remember that's that one from back in the day, the flying guillotine.
What is he doing? Chopping the head off of you know what I'm saying? Ku Klux Klansmen. I'm interested. I'm trying
to get a picture here. I'm trying to get a picture.
Yeah.
Don't put it past Scotty, bro. Don't put it past.
Please
trying to get a clearance up.
Please don't. Here. All right, so like I've known Scotty. I know like my best friend in high school went to UNCG, and that's where they met Scotty. So like when we talked about, and we had what's his name on the show, and he talked about the Flavor Spot and all that, I was there. Like I was there because my best friend went to UNCG, and the Flavor Spot was like right there, right? And I met Scotty through them. And so everybody graduates or whatever, and then everybody moves to Durham. And like the fun fucking times that Scotty and I and our crews have had together, I can't even tell them.
Epic, man. Epic.
And very epic, very epic. But yo, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and get into our first topic. So the Manhattan DA's office has charged Amy Cooper. Y'all remember Amy Cooper, the Central Park Karen that was accusing or threatening Black Bird watcher Christian Cooper with calling the cops and saying that she was being threatened by him. Well, they wanted to, so the Manhattan DA's office has charged her with filing a false police report, which is actually a misdemeanor that can get you up to 1 year in jail. All right. Well, the DA's office will be prosecuting the case without the involvement of Christian Cooper. All right. And he's declining to assist the DA's office. And actually had a quote here. Okay. And now Mr. Cooper stated in a statement that he released this past Tuesday, on the one hand, she's already paid a steep price. That's not enough of a deterrent for to others. Bringing her more misery just seems like piling on. But he does, he added that he does understand that there was a greater principle at stake, and that greater principle should be defended. However, according to Mr. Cooper, if the DA feels the need to pursue charges, he'll be pursuing the charges, but without his involvement. All right, panel.
That's nothing but I'm sorry, Rob, but that's nothing but karma, man. You know what I'm saying? He's mastered karma. He said what he said. I mean, he got it on tape. He did what he did. It went viral. She lost her job. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, humiliation, all the other types of shit popped off. You know what I'm saying? If he goes any further, that karma will jump right back on him. You know what I'm saying? He's done what he did. I mean, the karma jumped back on her because it was her, but it can jump back on you if you go through this on some malice type shit. And you know what I'm saying? He was right. She, it's out of his hands. There's no more that he could do. He done what he did. For him to even jump out there and to do that, you know what I'm saying? will be like out of malice, and you know what I'm saying? Yo,
It's not malice. It's telling what happened.
I mean, I
Like,
get, I mean, I get you. I
it's
get you on
telling
that.
what happened.
I mean, I get you on that, man. I mean, him like when them coming to him and like, yo, we want you to prosecute. We want you to do this. He was like, no, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good with that.
I've
You know,
done all I can do.
Yeah, I'm good with that. I've done all I can do. But you know what I'm saying? For you know, for them to subpoena him to come in, yes, that's him telling his story to do so. For him to like go charging forward towards it, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes people got to realize, what the fuck are you doing this for? Are you doing this for the just cause? Or are you doing this because you fucking mad? You feel what I'm saying? And that shit has a repercussion on you too. Believe that.
Well, it's for just cause, because this is
Yeah.
the first case to be prosecuted under the new law in New York. So, like, Rob, go ahead.
I mean, you know what
Go
I'm
ahead.
saying, Key. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
But also, like, people talk about karma as if it's a bad thing. It's
But
the
it's
bad
not.
things.
But
It's
it's
not.
not.
It's
not.
everything. It's
It's
a
everything.
totality of your experiences in your life, and what you put out, you get back. So you put out positivity, you get positivity. You put out shit, you get back shit.
Right.
I
That's
can't
what I mean.
fathom how you go this far and then stop. And then you make a statement talking about she's lost enough. No, she hasn't. No,
But
she hasn't.
But she's being prosecuted by the new law, right? She lost a job. Everybody knows her. That's public shaming. You know what I'm saying? If y'all don't know, if y'all watch Game of Thrones, you remember when she walked down the street and
Shame!
shame.
How the hell did this get to
You know
Game of
what I'm saying?
Thrones? Really?
Shame, you bald headed ass.
Would you say, P?
How the hell did Game of Thrones get tossed into this, yo?
Politics.
That's what I
Because you obviously don't watch Game of Thrones.
He just,
But
you know
there's
what I'm
a
saying?
scene
But
where the queen,
right.
like she had been the queen, was captured, and the people that her subjects that hated her, and they made her walk through the streets. And
Naked.
no, she wasn't naked. They had
Yes, she
shaved,
was.
naked.
She was
she
naked.
was
Naked?
Naked. Mhm.
they had shaved her head.
Yep.
And so as she walked down this cobblestone corridor between two buildings, everyone was lining the streets, and they weren't throwing tomatoes or rotten vegetables. They were just yelling, shame, shame, shame. Because she was an adulterer and what do you call it? Incestor. Her and her brother was doing it. So
Her twin brother too.
Twin brother, yeah. So everybody knew about it. The streets knew, and they just shame.
Yeah, it's on your Fire Stick. It's on Netflix.
Thank you, Rob. Thank you, Rob. Thank you.
You know what I'm saying?
Tell it, Rob.
Thank you.
If you want to go and check, you can see all of that Keisha was just so expertly demonstrating. But
I hate it here.
So as far as and for the record, she was
she
booty
was
ball,
naked.
butterball naked.
The comment
made her.
Sorry,
Yeah.
guys. Damn.
Yeah. You got to get that straight. But so I mean, karma. Is it an exact science? You know what I'm saying? I mean, because good people get shit, they get shitted on. Bad people, you know what I'm saying, out here in the sunshine prospering.
Right, and that's what I mean. And that's what I mean, Rob. That's what I mean. Yeah.
Okay.
You got it.
Okay. Now, as far as his cooperation, to your point, Tico, as far as if they subpoena him, I mean, he's going to have to do what he has to do. That it's a subpoena, it's like official, right?
Exactly.
But as far as anything outside of that, like, you know, him, I don't know, doing interviews and trashing her and I don't know, burning her picture, you know, burning her in effigy and all that type of stuff for optics and to appease other people. I mean, that's on him. He doesn't have to do anything else. You know what I'm saying? But
do you think he feels like he has to do that? Because like for him to be as bold as to come out and say, like, the DA is pressing charges under this new law. Fine.
Right.
But he came out and said, I'm not fucking with y'all. Do you think that him to be as bold as to come out and say, I'm not with the DA, that to me makes a statement. Like it makes a huge statement.
No, it doesn't.
And
As a
we,
juror,
we'll
as a juror?
see. Hang on. Okay.
Rob then make a
He, as far as him making his statement, and him actually having to do, again, to Tico's point, what he has to do as far as a subpoena, that's going to come out in the wash. Like, as far as right now, it's speculation. But it kind of goes back to when we were talking about the young man that was sitting in his apartment murdered, and he was murdered by the police officer that thought it was her apartment. And I think his brother went and hugged her, and then everybody was like, why the fuck is he hugging her? Yada, 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 blah, 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 blah. Because one of the commenters brought up the point of forgiveness. That's nobody's business. And I don't care whether he forgives or not. Yeah. So if he has forgiven that lady and all of that type of stuff, and he's feeling all kumbaya-ish, that's on him. Exactly. But I get the fact that there is precedent here under that new law that, things like this have to be nipped in the bud. They have to be put in check because, really, it could have gone an entirely different way than what it did. We could have been talking about him having been killed by the police on some bullshit. Mm-hmm. So, that's where I'm going to go ahead, Bishop.
No, I'm saying it's like this because we can't, we can't play the what if game on our side. Because how they do. Right. You know how they do. What if he would have did this, or if he wouldn't have did that? We can't play the if game. So what he did was he absolutely did what he did. It went viral. I think he's kind of like where I'm at with it. It's like, yeah, you got your comeuppance when you lost your job, when you got embarrassed and all that stuff. And then, what I'm saying, you already down. There's no reason for me to be like my oppressors and then put my foot on your neck while you're down. You know what I'm saying? Now the DA wants to go through with that. Hey, he's saying that my job by bringing this to the forefront, help this law and all that stuff come across. I'm good. Mm-hmm. There wasn't. I feel justified in you losing your job and for you being exposed and for you being actually, because what we want to do is like this. What we want to do, we want these racially insensitive people and racist people to actually feel some empathy, and we want them to say, it's like, when you discipline your child, you don't whip your children just to whip your children. You whip them to teach a lesson. You know what I'm saying? Or you spank them and you put them on punishment. Whatever you do, discipline you do. It's like this. This is what we're doing. We saying Now you got that initial pain. Now this is a part where you grow from. Here's her foundation. Now with the DA, again, if the DA wants to pursue with the charges and all that stuff, it's kind of like, if you get assaulted, right? Someone assaults you and you got a camera and you knock the person smooth out. I'm talking about break their jaw, whatever. One punch quit them. They were attacking you. You knock them out. It's kind of like, do you want to press charges against this person? Nah, I broke their jaw. Their jaw is broken. They gotta slip through. What's that? I'm not going to then compile that and then press charges. I won the fight. I mean, yeah, they attacked me first. I defended myself, and this is what it is. But if they happen to go to charges off of what they see on film and they want me to come in, then of course I got to tell my side of the story. And I think that's what it is.
I also feel in some type of way that, hey, maybe he jumped on top of it so cats won't start digging into his shit.
Right.
He doesn't really seem like the type to have shit, though. He's actually on the board. She fucked with the wrong nigga, right? Mm-hmm. He's on the board of the National Bird Watching Society, the Audubon Society. Is that what it is? The Audubon Society. He's on the board, yo. So it is what it is. I really wish that if he didn't want to participate, then just shut up and not participate.
Right.
I really feel like the whole making a statement and saying she's lost enough and all of that good stuff really sets a kind of it puts a bad taste in people's mouth.
Yeah, I mean, but think about it.
She could have got you killed. Like she literally could have got you killed.
But
and I
that's
understand
good.
that you think and I'm over it and the entanglement. The entanglement in this situation.
And piggybacking on what Bishop said, you know what I'm saying? If she didn't like black people then, if he kept on pushing it, she's definitely not gonna like black people then.
But based on her past that came out after this happened, she's a crazy bitch. So, like, why not?
Yeah.
Why not? But again, I preach to others, and I will preach to myself that you cannot expect people to react the same under the same stimuli as you would. So let's move on to the next topic, niggas.
Exactly. Look, and just to wrap that up, just real quick, okay? Look. Everyone's not an activist. We want everyone to be an activist. That's a beautiful thing. Okay?
I'm not an activist.
Everyone's not an activist.
Right.
Yeah, he's already, he already did his part by bringing it to the attention in the first place. He could have just said, "I'm going to let the DA's office handle it," and left it at that. Okay,
exactly.
He's showing compassion. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He's showing compassion.
Compassion, yo.
Yo, listen, what I'm saying is this right here. But it is this right. Again, what it is this right here. You as the oppressed, when you get the power over your oppressors, you have to be better than they were. So what he's saying is this right here. He's saying, we got you. You learned your lesson? All right, go fruitful and prosper. Because what that does, that breathes in like, hey, maybe because he's not villainizing himself. Yeah, it's like this. What it is, he's
love instead of hatred. Love instead of hatred.
Right. He's saying, I am the bigger person. You know what I'm saying? I just knocked you out. I could kick you while you knocked out, but you know what I'm do? I'm the Chinese dude. I'm sorry. You know what I mean? I had to knock you out in the middle of the street.
Hey, y'all. In the middle of the street. Hey, y'all. Bishop just made me see something that I didn't see before.
What's that?
What?
This right here. Like for real, like love instead of hatred, and that's what he's. Because I was mad at this nigga up until he just said what he said.
Let's wrap it up by saying this right here. What if this is him coming to the realization that he should have minded his own fucking business in the first place and let that lady walk her unleashed dog?
Fuck that.
Fuck that.
Fuck that. Put your dog
up. I got two massive dogs and I walk them down the street. You should see them. People just look out the window to see if they're going to shit in their yard. You know what I mean? Crazy that. Nah. Leash that motherfucker dog.
Hold on. I'm out here bird watching.
You don't have horses. You don't have dogs, Tico. You have Clydesdales, okay? That's what you have, all right? That's the reason why they're afraid that they're gonna shit in somebody's yard, okay? Because you got fucking Clydesdales.
Listen, when we took them niggas to the vet, he needed me to help him take him to the vet. They're so big, right? So and they put us in one room with these two big ass dogs, and they're just tumbling and rolling around and shit. And the vet's like, oh. So when we get done, I take
Zoe.
No, say I had Samson.
Oh yeah, Samson.
I took Samson out. Like we're on our way back to the cars or whatever. And this nigga takes he takes a huge dump, like a mega human sized dump. I get a bag. I have a bag, and I get the human sized dump. Like my dog's little. Like he just does little turds. It's fine. I hate it, but it's fine. This nigga takes a human sized dump, right? I get it up. And then by the time I'm the leash is here in my hand, I'm getting the dump up, and I look around, and this nigga takes another human sized dump. Like, what the fuck are you feeding these dogs?
Man, look,
humans.
Yeah,
humans. Exactly. Human size.
All right, y'all.
Right.
Okay, yeah. Let's get off the dog shit and get into our next topic. Okay.
The ratings of this show is awesome. Desean Jackson.
Do we have? I'm asking. Do we have any Eagles fans in the house with us?
I don't know. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm not entirely sure. if there are any Eagles fans in the house. You might want to take a poll, but yeah,
you're not sure. You
not exactly sure.
Oh.
Lies and garbage, niggas. Lies and garbage. Lies and
Okay.
garbage.
Okay, so Philadelphia wide receiver Desean Jackson got some flack over the weekend on social media. As he shared an anti-Semitic comment that was attributed to Adolf Hitler.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, he caught some flack, as it related to those comments.
So me being out here in this dating world, there are certain trigger, like internet dating world. There are certain trigger words and phrases that once a dude that I may meet and we may chat about the weather and cooking and common interest, but they're definitely trigger phrases where I'm like, oop. He's the Hotep, NOI, Wokimon. You can name a few of those things that I have to exit stage left. And this whole thing to me, and I'm gonna let y'all talk on it. I'm talking first because I don't really give a fuck. But he is recently woke.
Mm-hmm.
You can't just start in the middle, right? You can't just start in the middle. You have to learn about everything and then come back to the place that you were and go forward from there. So he had no idea. He's quoting Louis Farrakhan. He's quoting what he thought was Hitler, but really isn't Hitler. Like, you're just uneducated. So you've caused yourself all this trouble because you didn't take 30 minutes to sit down and Google what the fuck you was talking about, read the history, and then decide whether that's some shit that you really want to say out in public, knowing the number of followers you have and your public lifestyle. So I'm gonna let y'all two Eagles fans do that.
I like to call them, if y'all see me use this phrase before, armchair killmongers. You know what I'm saying? Like, because everybody got super woke when off of Black Panther. Like, that's when your blackness was achieved, right? Because you wore dashiki to Black Panther, and then you quoted Killmonger. I would have jumped at your armchair Killmongers.
I'll tell you that I ran out of gas on 540 the night that I was supposed to, like, on Black Panther night. Like, okay, we should put it on the calendar. The night that Black Panther came out, I bought a ticket. A bunch of friends were going. I had to take my son somewhere, and we ran out of gas on the fucking highway on 540, probably a half a mile from the Six Forks exit. And we had to walk to get gas and walk back to the car. But
and what I'm going to say is this right here. And if you're super woke, if you're a Wokemon, you could blame white supremacy on that. That's that was white. That was the white power. So the man was holding you back from getting to see Black Panther.
All right, so when Keisha first started making her point, I thought I wasn't sure where she was going, but she brought it she brought it back. But yeah, so like I agree. I think Desean is newly quote unquote woke. And when you're a new Wokemon, you have a tendency, like this overwhelming tendency, to just blam, just share, but jump on bandwagons and just put information out. You know what I'm saying? Because you feel like it's making you look, you know what I'm saying, somewhat intelligent. I think what Desean was trying to do, like Bishop, check this out, man. I think you're gonna know where I'm going. But if you really looked at some of the stuff that Desean was saying and some of the stuff that he was sharing, I think that he is latching on to becoming a Hebrew Israelite. Right. Because when he was walking back his comments, he was talking about enlightening his people and talking about religion, this, that, and the third. You understand what I'm saying? Basically, like Keisha said, he should have because see what happens is a lot of when you become newly woke, right?
Mhm.
There's tons of information out there on the internet, and Desean he's not the most articulate person in the world. He is kind of, but not really.
Right.
I mean, he's a smart dude, you know what I'm saying? But as far as this is concerned, he hasn't learned that, like, at some point when you go out and just like get information off YouTube, you develop a sense of, okay, that could be bullshit. Let me not share that. Let me look into that. And it goes back to
YouTube is not a source. It's not a source.
Right. It goes back to your point where you said he hasn't taken like 30 minutes to sit there and Google what he shared. You understand what I'm saying? So what he shared it still ended up biting him in the ass, because what you get is a lot of other wokey minds out there putting this shit together and putting it out on YouTube for other people to consume the bullshit. And it's just recycling regurgitated wokey mind bullshit. You understand what I'm saying?
Yep.
Bottom line is there's no way you invoke Hitler, man, especially like she was saying, not in his profession and public lifestyle. But I mean, yeah, you take time to research anything that you share, and it goes even back to just sharing stuff on your timeline that's dated, and you share it like it just happened, like it's breaking news, but the shit happened 4 years ago. You see what I'm saying? It's
like trying to cancel Robert Downey Jr. for doing Tropic Thunder.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
Also, okay. Now, Steven Jackson came to his defense. Came to his defense angrily. However, he pretty much just said the exact same thing you just said, Rob. The exact same thing you just said. He is just learning. He is trying to educate himself. Okay. But yeah, when you don't put the time in for the research, when you don't put the time in to figure out, okay, this is good information, this is bad information.
Right.
All right. This is what happens, especially when your owner is Jewish.
And the GM.
Exactly, is Jewish. Okay. And another thing. I know a lot of I know a lot of people were wondering, well, what's going to happen to him. He ended up getting fined. A lot of people thought he was going to get cut, especially in this environment. However, this is the Philadelphia Eagles we're talking about. And no, I'm not talking bad about your team, guys.
The same
team that had Riley Cooper, who after was it a Kenny Chesney concert, was caught on camera was saying, "I'll fight all you ends. I will fight all you ends."
Say it with his chest. Did he say niggers or did he say ends?
I will fight all you niggas. That's what he said.
Right.
However,
it was 3 niggas in a whole Kenny Chesney concert.
We're unapologetic here, sir.
Three, and it was 3 niggas. To his defense, it wasn't a bunch of niggas there. It was Kenny Chesney concert, so it was like 3 niggas in the whole building. You know what I'm saying?
No, but yeah, and I know two of them was security.
Right.
2 of them were security. Okay. I mean, let's be honest. 2 of them were security, but at the same time, he caught a fine for it. Okay. And he didn't get cut. Yeah, he didn't get cut from the team. Okay. So, you got to look at the precedent that they already set as it relates to a situation like that.
Right.
Now, next year, that might be a different story.
Mm-hmm. But no, I think what it is what Desean did. He realized what he did, and then what he did, he also was doing the work to understand what he said. So he went, he reached out to the Jewish community. He's going to one of the rabbis or whatever invited him in. So it's like this, they understand that, even the people, even the people in the Jewish community understand that people can make mistakes. And he owned up to it. He didn't double down on his own. He actually apologized twice, because after Steven Jackson came in, Desean Jackson then on top of that was like, nah, I messed up. I'm gonna go ahead. He took his fine. He realizes that maybe I shouldn't have shared that. And now he's talking with some of the leaders in the Jewish community to get more education.
Right.
It's one of those things where I want to say to people is this right here. You don't always have to be racist. Just like racism is learned, it's not inherent in any of us. You know what I mean? Just like racism is learned, it can be unlearned. So if someone says something out the way, it's time to step in and educate. And if that person is willing to educate, then allow them to do such. He already caught the got him. No, Desean. And then let's go ahead and move and work. So that's what I think. That's what I think is the good part about it. You know what I mean? The Eagles held him accountable. They found him within their standards, like they did with Riley. They didn't overdo it with him. So they did. I think the front office is smart in that. So that way, be like, nah, we did it with Riley this way. So y'all can't get mad if we do with Desean the same way. And I think that's fair on the Eagles side to do the same thing that they did. And then Desean is doing the work. So.
Yeah, I mean, I just saw something that he posted this morning. Once again, learning. Okay. Yeah. Like I said, you can't, y'all said it. When you're new at it, you get hungry with it. Okay. And when you get hungry with it, you want to share it. You want to share that with everybody. Do your research first. And then it'll keep you out of it'll keep you out of these troubles.
That's right. I'm still looking for Tom Cruise. Have we seen Tom Cruise? I'm sorry, Tom Hanks. Have we seen Tom Hanks? He's missing.
You said that last night.
Oprah.
Hey.
And all of us sitting there like, what?
Have you seen Oprah?
Excuse us.
Have you
Excuse
seen
us.
Ellen? Have you seen Ellen?
What's the point, bro?
That Epstein thing, man. That Epstein thing, man.
Epstein
Epstein
thing.
Fucking
Oh yeah, they need to put her in a bubble with paper clothes in the middle of a town square because she's not Giselle is not for this world for much longer. But that's a whole nother topic.
Guys,
let's go.
Thank you. Guys, can we talk a little bit of presidential politics right now? Because we haven't talked presidential politics in a while. Or it hasn't been a couple of weeks. It's been a couple of weeks. Was it last week? No, it wasn't last week because we wasn't here. Beautiful show last week, baby, by the way. Anyway.
Yeah, it was.
Guys. Yeah, it was. It was a beautiful show. Guys, Kanye West for president. Let that sit with you for a second.
So I don't need to let it sit because last night I said, as we were grilling on my new griddle, outdoor griddle, gas griddle, that it would be so. I think a Kanye West song came on. It would be so dope to have Kanye as president for like a year. That's it, like a year. You get a year trial period. I'm sure he's gonna fail, but the fact that he has announced now that he wants to run for president is so telling of just basic political division tactic 101 class. Right. If there was a class.
Hold that thought for a second because, ladies and gentlemen, we are joined by
oh boy.
Who? Legendary. Legendary.
He put a hat on.
Legendary. Legendary Butta Team DJ and activist. Ladies and gentlemen, DJ Scotty Rock is in the house.
He's also a fine stand-up comedian too. I've seen him tell jokes.
Bishop Omega. Can you hear me, Bishop Omega?
I can hear you fine, sir.
Yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you.
I mean, I didn't appreciate it in the green room when you was like throwing off on me. But to your point, yes.
Yeah, I told you they do. I told you the joints go match.
Coordinate.
We can't see his shoes, so he put on a hat.
Thoroughly enjoyed roasting you on your birthday.
Thank you, sir.
Oh my god! You were good too. You were good too. Yeah.
That was a good one.
Tico,
Granville County, stand up.
AKA the tallest B-boy on planet Earth.
You damn right, man. I was
ever.
You're right. AKA the man who was on the run from New York police for stealing large professor's identity. I've seen Extra P. You about a foot taller than Extra P, but the first time I saw you, I was like, "Is that Extra P?" Like, no, he's too small, too tall to be Extra P.
That's just me.
My man Rob, who I am going to lobby that you be the voice of Darth Maul if he ever speaks.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
That's what-
wow.
Rob got the type of voice like if Rob your daddy, like you can make the A honor roll. I mean, 100s all across the board. Rob can still make you feel bad. Like, they don't have no A's, first class boy. All they got is A's. That's all you could get is A's. All A's.
All you got was 93s. 93?
Exactly.
Really? A 93?
Boy, you crazy, man.
Keisha, my girl, who is arguably the most hip hop sister of all time, period.
Salute.
And will fight you, will cut you and shoot you at the same time if you talk about the Roots.
Oh, yeah.
No,
I literally, I think
comments.
I've seen the Roots more than any other human on Earth, right?
I believe
I think
so.
I really like. I think I've seen the Roots like 100 times. Like
when this is how you know
I'm not high. There's no hyperbole in what I'm saying.
And she's been like that since day one with the Roots, because I've known her about that long. So she's been like that day one. But Keisha is so well known. When you go to a Root concert, Black Thought and Questlove give us shout outs.
Hey, listen, me and Black Thought used to be my phone boyfriend back in the 90s.
Don't mess that man up. You don't know.
I know facts for it. Wow.
August.
1-800 page me when the operator answers. I ask for Tariq Trotter, and I did when I lived with my mom and daddy, and we talked for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours on multiple occasions.
So, ladies and gentlemen, that's back in the days when you had to pay.
Yo, what I'm saying is this.
And Perry, when I write these books, you will be the voice of my books because you speak so well.
You speak so well for a black.
No, he speaks the King's English. He does. The rest of you Negroes drop T's and D's. Perry, no. Perry can open the dictionary and read you all the words and get all the vocal inflections correct on all the little accents.
That's him.
That's true. Yeah.
So I watched,
and I heard he's fluent in Geechee down in South Carolina. He don't speak that stuff up here, but in South Cac, he speaks Geechee.
Hey! I don't let everybody know that Geechee, okay? You know. So.
Joe, you got to go ahead and drop something now.
Keisha, as you were just stating, the political trickery 101. Can you please expound on that? Like the way I switched that up, right? But yeah,
Who, me?
Yes.
Yeah, you.
He's on the political trickery.
Political trickery 101 as it relates to Kanye.
Oh, yeah. So, okay. So, up until now, people are kind of deciding whether they want to like rock with Trump or rock with Biden. Neither one is a good choice. We are in July, August, September, October, November. We have 4 months until the election. And this nigga pop up out of nowhere saying that he wants to run for president. It's not prudent or fruitful at this time. Like,
just to add to that real quick, okay? Popping up out of nowhere. Now, let's remember, I know sometimes in this day and age, guys, it can get kind of hard to think back 4 years ago, let alone 4 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
However, this is not the first time that we've heard Kanye West say, I am going to run for president. He said this in 2016 in preparation for 2020.
He did, but he didn't do it. He didn't do it on time. Like, I don't have a problem with Ye running for president. I don't. Because if Donald Trump can be president, Kanye fucking West can be president.
Right.
But the timing of this, like people, like I was telling someone today, you do fuck shit, and then you apologize, and all your friends accept you, and then you do the same type of fuck shit, and all your friends accept you, but you apologize, and then you do the same type of fuck shit. Like, it's an endless cycle. Why now would, like, it is really critical that people be kind of tuned into Joe Biden and settled in the, or like me, settled in the fact that, like, fuck, I have to vote for Joe Biden. And I understand how the electoral college work, which we can kind of wrap into this about the change via the Supreme Court, but I just don't understand the timing of this announcement. Like,
I think it's chess. I think it's chess. If I'm not mistaken, all the votes that Kanye gets, right? And if he loses, he gives them away, right? If I'm not mistaken. Right?
Okay, let me stop you right there. Okay, let me stop you there. Before Kanye can even actually be a viable candidate, he has to get on the ballot. Okay, and
but people can write him in, right?
Yeah, but
they can write him in.
Yeah,
okay.
He can be used as a write-in, but right now at this stage, when you're announcing in July, okay, you've already missed a lot of cutoffs to actually get on the ballot to be a truly viable candidate. Scotty, now
Yes, sir.
we all follow your page a lot because you are a great follow.
Thanks.
I mean, seriously, a great. Yeah, you are always on it, okay? And because I know there was some stuff that you had up there in regards to Kanye running, but please share your when you first heard that he was going to run. What were your thoughts? What was your first thought after you laughed?
The name Catcher Freeman came to mind.
Don't
expound.
Do tell.
Just them new niggas over there.
Exactly. The timing was.
Rob, is that you singing?
That was Rob singing. Yeah.
Rob is singing.
I love it.
Yes. I like Uncle Ruckus because at least he's honest. Catcher Freeman seems to be a friend of the people, but he's really our enemy.
Right.
So the timing was impeccable if you were a Donald Trump fan. It was terrible if you're not a fan of Donald Trump. Because why would the man Trump won running on a white nationalist platform? And so any black man that can align themselves with a white supremacist platform, I have some serious stink eye for you. Matter of fact, all three of my eyes are giving you the stink eye. So I'm like, okay, Kanye, like you've been dormant. It's like you're a sleeper cell, a one-man sleeper cell. You've been dormant all this time, trying to stave off the curse of the Kardashians, which he's done a mighty job because he's last, I think, only Bruce Jenner has beaten him as far as staving off that curse. But it's coming. It's coming. Like Tico said, if karma exists at all, Kanye is going to get a heaping. But I feel that his insertion into this is an attempt to steal the one demographic that's most important, which is young people.
Yep.
They don't want young people.
Not even black people. Not even like
right. It has nothing to do with race. It is a Kanye is a polarizing figure, and there are people who came of age off Kanye's music, and they are going to ride with Kanye regardless of how bad an album he creates. Right. Like I listened to that gospel album. I listened to like 20 seconds of each song. I was like, yeah, I'm not going to waste my life on this one. I'm good. I'll just keep bumping your first three and a couple of tracks off your fourth and fifth.
My kids love him. They love him. Like
that's
I have.
You a heathen, man. That's because you a heathen.
You know why? Think about it like this. Who did kids love back in the day and it's the same type of love. They love Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan, the kids today is just an icon on the back of a shoe. But for us, they came of age with him, which I'm not a Jordan fan, but for those who came of age with him with those shoes, I'm alive. I'm old enough to be alive when the first Jordans came out.
Right.
And every time they came out afterwards. So Kanye represents, like with those Yeezys, those shoes, they're ugly as hell to me. But the kids love them and they're paying the money for them. So he is an icon to the young people. So to me, that's the danger of the power that he commands.
He is literally a genius, like textbook definition.
And sociopath.
Yeah. But most geniuses are, though. And I say this all the time. Like, y'all love the music and love the art, but you don't understand the expense that is paid for these people to give you all that they give you. Like, they literally cut themselves down the middle and just like expose everything that there is. But it has been told through TMZ, which on this show we consider a viable news source, that he is going through a bipolar episode right now, and his family is concerned about him. And thanks, Raph, for the reminder of that. But I'm just so concerned about where we'll be in December. Like, I'm super concerned about where we'll be in December because of this. And then the timing is horrible for Joe Biden. But I think that,
just call him the lesser evil, Keisha.
He is.
You invoke his name like the bad grandkid.
He is the bad grandkid. He is the bad grandkid. Like, I don't want to vote for Joe Biden. Can I say that out loud? Like, I don't want to vote for him. Everything that, man, people say, well, what did Barack Obama do for black people? He never called black people, agreed with the calling of black people super predators. Like, he is a black man. So,
but this is who didn't Chico say chestnut checkers. Did you say chestnut checkers earlier?
That's right.
If you'll notice, they have been setting us up for this moment for at least 2 elections. They give the Democrats and Republicans, they're the same to me. One has a 10-inch knife, one has an 11-inch knife.
Right,
so
right.
Regard. Mm-hmm. But what they do is, when it's time for them to get their 8-year run, they give you a candidate that you cannot vote for. The Republicans had McCain and Sarah Palin. My big toe is smarter than Sarah Palin. All of us drunk out of our minds, like blackout drunk. We're smarter than Sarah Palin. So when you go back and look at the lame duck candidates that they've given each party, it almost guaranteed that you would get 8 years, because they didn't put up a candidate that could even compete against the other candidate. So the Democrats were silly thinking that right after a black man was elected twice by a majority of the white people, that they were going to elect a white woman that even white people don't like, and white women don't like.
Right.
Right.
True.
It was impossible. Who likes Hillary Clinton? Once she calls us super predators, as a black man, my DNA wouldn't let me check her box.
Thank you. Thank you.
And Scotty. Not only that, and just to take it back to 2016, just real quick, okay? So your choices were a white woman that even white women didn't like, and a
God don't like.
Yeah. And a 75-year-old Jewish cat from Brooklyn living in Maine. That's a quote unquote socialist. All right. The fix, I see the fix. The fix was in. However,
we should have went with the socialist.
However, That was but however, I always looked at 2016 was supposed to be the Bush fix. I always look at that as it was supposed to be the Bush fix. Okay. And then you got this guy from reality TV that comes in and takes all the air out of the room. Fix was still in. Fix was still in for the right, the right party. But the candidate, yeah, that was, that was the issue. Going from July, going from August, and going from November. Okay. Do you think we're in the same place, right? Do you think we're in that same place right now this July as we were in July of 2016?
Doesn't the energy feel about the same? Isn't that same weird cauldron of energy?
It is. It
still feels weird. Yeah, it still feels weird.
Exactly. Like I'll give you another transference of energy. I didn't live in the 60s. I wasn't born until 71. But when I asked my mother, I said, is this how the 60s felt? The late 60s? She's like, it's exactly how it felt. So
my mama said it's worse. Now it's worse than what they went through. That's what my mom just turned 70 on Friday. Happy birthday, Brandon. But
happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Like she said, now the demonstrations and the coalition of people that are trying to make change for some shit that they've been fighting for. She said that we've been fighting for hundreds of years is worse. It's worse now.
So we got Elon Musk and his wife supporting him. So, that's a lot of fucking votes right there.
Oh, the Tesla owners.
Yeah. I'm going to say this right here. I am not okay. As a person that's disruptive, as a disruptive person who that's my natural personality. I understand what Kanye. I'm just it's like sometimes you want to come in the room like, hey, look at me, to kind of like, yo, here is the bullshit. Like you have to really look at the bullshit that Kanye is trying to do. He said he's running under the birthday party. That's his party. Also saying that he wants to the laws and everything like that. He wants to run like it was Wakanda. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
I just read
these are things this man has said, and what is going to go on is right. And we got a bunch of cynical young folks out there that be like, "Yo, I'm not going to vote. I don't really like anybody. I'm just going to vote for Kanye," which is what they're going to do is throw away their vote. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yep.
And the reason why you got people super excited and they're pushing that agenda like Kanye is going to run and everything like that. Because if I was a real news reporter, Kanye once Kanye said his name and his party is going to be the birthday party and he was going to run the shit after a comic book. Guess what? You're not news anymore. You're not news. You're dumb, my nigga. Shut the fuck up.
You're a patient. They call you a patient, Bishop, and you need to be on medication.
It's your birthday. Exactly. Yeah, it's your birthday. Baby.
You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day,
first place.
Exactly. So my thing is this right here. When I heard that, I was like, when Kanye said in 2016 I'm running for president, I said, okay, Kanye went up for president, might be okay. But now it's like we cannot we have to talk about it. Kanye ain't been right since his mama died. I think somebody else said that.
Yeah.
So he's dealing.
Doc Rob, thank you.
Right. Yeah. He's dealing with a bunch of things or whatever. So I don't like. It's like this. Do I want to have racists in office?
Or a bipolar, whatever women, right?
Yeah. One of these cats.
Yeah.
I don't trust Kanye with the button. You know what I'm saying? I don't want Kanye West in the Oval Office making beats.
It's not even that.
A missile crisis.
You in that same interview, because I read that interview, and they asked him what he thought about taxes. This motherfucker says he don't know nothing about taxes. Nobody does. He says he's willing. He says he is willing. He says that he's not a big fan of the whole, tax breaks for the rich and blah, blah, blah. And then he says, what he's willing to do is have some of the strongest experts in finance that have a strong belief in God to help him with these decisions.
But that's that's what you do, right? So being a person that has managed people and being the president of the United States, it's just managing the country, right?
Right.
So you enlist the best at what you're trying to manage at the time. And so that part I get. Like, I don't think that, like, that's why I would vote for Kanye had he started campaigning back when people were supposed to start campaigning, or B, next cycle. Like, I believe that he understands that he doesn't know everything and that he needs to enlist the best people to help him, to advise him. And having, if you hire the top expert on whatever topic as part of your advisory committee, it only helps if you actually listen to that fucking person. So in the current administration, Trump has surrounded himself with top tier people in whatever industry, whatever topic, whatever, but he doesn't fucking listen. Like, my sister writes speeches for CEOs. Ain't nobody writing what he's talking. Like, and
they writing, he just ain't
no, exactly. Yep. Exactly.
He is ignoring the teleprompter.
Exactly.
Because things are very, very big.
Exactly.
Because you cut that TV off
and look, I even have questions about that. Okay, if Ben Carson is this history-making surgeon,
ultra coon,
why? But
yeah, I get. He can't hear you, man. You hit your button. He's probably saying, "Why is he fucking head of the fucking Hood Foundation?" You know what I'm saying?
Right,
Why is he head of Hood?
I'm gonna
doesn't make any sense. Only because you're black and you stayed in the projects for a little bit, don't mean that you know what the fuck the projects is about.
I'm gonna say this right here. There's different places of smart. Yeah. Okay, you know what I'm saying? There's different parts of smart. Like what Rob does, I cannot do what Rob does. But Rob also can't come in and jump on stage with me and try to do jokes. You know what I'm saying? There's different levels.
I don't know.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't know.
Listen, first of all, listen.
I know that nigga got 10 hands though.
But Rob is not going to have the same
private joke.
But I mean, I'm talking about, like, I mean, you know what I mean?
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying, bro.
So I'm saying it's just like this, and that's the Ben Carson situation. Like, yo, I'm not going to trust him with houses when this dude does brain surgery. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, it's just certainly like I'm not going to ask my electrician to come in and fix my pipes. It's two different, you know what I mean, things. And it's just like, just because he has a degree, you know what I'm saying, he speaks well, you know what I mean? It's just like that. I don't know why he's in a position, because he's a yes man. That's what it is. It's like, all right, I'll take this. Like, brain surgery to HUD housing, that shit is a far jump, my brother. You know what I'm saying? That is a leap.
Exactly. Yeah, that's like, would you trust your proctologist to operate on your brain?
I would not.
Would you trust your brain surgeon to operate on your ass? No,
I would not.
You wouldn't, because it's two different levels of expertise. So he's out of his
smart asses out here,
and he's out of his water, way out of his water. So, but what does Ben Carson represent? What is he for the Trump administration? He is the brown face who can say things that no white person could get away with now in this politically correct.
That they're feeding, but they're feeding those to him, right?
And
so
they got a hand up his ass, and they're doing like this. Yeah, exactly. These cats are buck dancing. They're doing an awesome job, And
Scotty, did you say buck dancing?
Buck dancing. Yes.
He said buck.
He clearly said buck dancing. What's in your cup? What's in your cup, Key?
Shut your mouth.
Check her.
Shut your mouth.
Sure
what's in that purple cup? He clearly said.
What's in the cup? Yeah, he said, I heard buck
dancing.
Yeah,
buck.
That's a concoction in there. She won't give us the recipe. That's a concoction. That's multiple liquor.
Exactly.
That's the Irish car bomb.
That's exactly. That's a strong
That's
iced tea.
that's a literal Molotov cocktail. Literally.
The Irish
Kaboom!
compound is every liquor that you have, everything that gets you drunk. Right.
Kaboom!
Put it in the
Kaboom!
cup. But these people are dangerous. They are the most dangerous people, other than the Karens, the bad Karens. They are the second most dangerous voice in America. Yeah. Because they are saying things that are so despicable, and they're smart. These aren't idiots. This is not the person that they're interviewing after Nook commits a crime and they go into the hood and get on whoever to interview, and it's always the worst person ever. Like, don't interview her. Don't interview him. But these people are articulate, and they are saying things that only a white supremacist would say and getting away with it. And so it's imperative that we call them to the carpet. I know people talk about, let's not give Candace any burn. No, Candace is setting the house on fire. She is dousing the house with gasoline, with nitroglycerin and rocket fuel, and lighting the match and running out, leaving us locked behind. No, we got to get at Candace and all her ilk.
He said ilk.
Love it.
And Candace, I totally agree. You need to get at her. You need to get at her beautician.
Okay. Perry went petty. He went petty for straight to tape this afternoon.
I sure did.
To her credit, great clips is everywhere.
P. Yo, you went petty, bro. You went petty, bro.
No,
I did. Did I? I'm not the petty one. I am not the petty one on straight to tape. And I'm not going to apologize for it either.
But today you are. You went there.
You're kind of bringing the whole like skin movement thing down. Because Bishop doesn't say it. I'm sorry.
I watched straight to tape. This is not my first rodeo with y'all, so I've seen all of y'all don the cape of super petty. Like it happens around virtually.
I am never petty.
I find that very hard to believe.
I find that hard to believe.
Petty.
I speak nothing but factuals.
As a member of the studio audience, yes, I have seen the cape pass. The super cape pass among you, and I've seen y'all actually fight over it.
The rap
being fighted again, so I'm gonna get all mine in right now.
I'm not saying Kanye is the president, but he sure is gonna be a candidate.
Yeah. Oh God!
Well, let me speak on that. I want
you. But go ahead, Scotty. I'm just going to keep
like that hip hop
joke. But go ahead.
And dealing with politics in my hometown and talking to other people, what has happened is the pyramid is upside down. So we care more about the person who affects our lives the least, which will be the president of the United States, than we do our local politicians.
So true.
You are exactly correct.
If you put a gun to the average person's head and ask them who is the commissioner for your district, I'm pretty sure there'd be a lot of slow singing and flower bringing. A lot of dead bodies. Because we don't pay attention to the people who, if there's a pothole in your neighborhood that hasn't been fixed,
impact our lives
10 years, there's a person who could probably get that fixed with a phone call if you knew who to call.
Yep.
But we also don't hold our local politicians accountable. We just vote for a name. Most of us, and I'll admit, for most of my years voting, the little black person out there gives me a little blue sheet like, this is all the black people you need to vote for, or the people that we support. You check those boxes off and you leave feeling your civic duty is done. However, now it calls for us to be an educated constituency. We're all constituents for the people that we vote for.
And it's hard.
It's
hard, and it's
some work.
But you still can do it.
Some work.
Sitting on your couch at home, you can do it. It's easier now than it has been ever to understand who you need to vote for and who you don't need to vote for. Like, it's so easy now. So
Man,
yeah,
I got lambasted recently for me admitting publicly that for the first time I voted for a Republican when I voted for Pat McCrory. But
you too, you too.
But when I asked the same people who were dry roasting me, okay, the previous two Democrats were garbage. We had one as a friggin' crook, and then
Mike Easley was terrible. Mike Easley was terrible.
Mike Easley's wife, there was a job, a sweetheart job they give to the wives of the governor. It pays $80,000. You work at NC State. He had them pass a bill whereby his wife was paid $200,000 for that same job. Like you said, Perry, the fix was in.
Yep.
$200,000 for an $80,000 job. That's a sweetheart job anyway. You just drawing taxpayer money. I mean, then we had Bear Purdue, 4 straight years of ineptitude. I mean, what did she do? She didn't even help the teachers, and she was a teacher.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
So what we have to do, in my opinion, to fix this, if we want to fix the top, if let's say if there's a problem with your foundation in your house, do you start on the roof? No. Nope. Start at the bottom, the ground level. So we need to shift the focus back to local politics. That's what really matters. And if we can grow good grassroots candidates from the bottom, and then it can trickle up, and it'll just matriculate up through the top. But if we keep on dealing with the same garbage candidates, we got people who care. They don't care about the. They're on the school board, but they don't care about kids. It's just a school board is a means to get into politics. That's what it has turned into. So that's where we need to start, in my opinion, with education, with the school board. Then you need to concentrate on your city and your county commissioners. It really needs to be a threefold attack, but that's where we need to be. And what I'm calling for is us as a collective. So you all live in Raleigh, Durham, wherever you live, we all need to collect our thoughts together and come up with a plan so that all of us are operating on the same set of plans. Once we find out what works, we take that and we move it on to each county. We got 100 counties in North Carolina. We can do this.
Hey, Scotty, actually, it's funny that you went there because I was actually about to ask you. Yeah, and you might have just answered it with what you just said. What can we do as people and voters, okay, to get other people and voters, especially in our community, to get out of the once every 4 year mentality and into the whenever there's a damn ballot up mentality?
Like midterms are incredibly important. Right. They may be the most important after local elections. Midterms may be the most important elections, period, because that's when you can flip the script. You really can upset the balance during midterm elections, but nobody comes out. In Oxford, 20% of the electorate voted in the last presidential election. 20%, 26,000 people, a little over 26,000 people. So for me, when it comes to what can I do in my town to upset the vote, I have to get the data, which the data that was sent to me, I couldn't use it, but I'm going to get the data so I can manipulate it in Excel. And then you can tell what demographics voted. You can tell how many Black people, 18 to 35 voted. You can tell how many senior citizens voted. And you can also do that for all the demographics, Hispanics and white people. So I believe you have to start off with good data first. You have to know what you're up against, what you're fighting against. But if only 20% of the electorate voted, and my town is 60% Black people and 36% white people, if all the white people voted for one candidate, which you know they won't, their vote will be split too. If I could just get 40% of my people to vote for one candidate, there's no election we couldn't win.
Guys. Oh, so sorry about that, Scotty.
No,
I
you
just
good.
saw a really good. Yeah, I just saw a really good question in the comment section. Okay, and I want everybody to tackle this question. Yo, Chad Thomas, great question. Okay, question. Is there any scenario where it's okay not to vote?
For American Idol, you know what I'm saying? It's okay to be, you
I'll
know what I'm
give you
saying? Outside of that, because but it is like this, because you can't.
So you think you can dance? Like,
You know
yeah.
what I'm saying? Yeah, so yeah, I mean, like to be honest with you, I'm gonna say this right here. No, there's not. There's not a place where it's okay because if you're saying you're complicit, if you're not voting, you're complicit. You're saying, all right, whatever happens, happens. And but then at the same time, don't jump up and be like jumping to protest. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like don't not vote and then want to go out there and protest because you're not helping. You know what I'm saying? All you're doing is being loud at this end of the day. Like it's kind of like me just being on straight to tape and not knowing any of my business when it comes down to politics, sports, or whatever, anything else we're talking about, and not have an opinion. And I'm just up here telling jokes just to be telling jokes. You know what I mean? Exactly. I'm here to just be the funny guy. That's all you are. You're going to be a distraction. So it's like this. I don't think, my personal opinion, it's like, no, it's not a place where, especially right now, when we have to have so much change, and we can see where, like, if we could see where we could get good candidates, especially local officials that are willing to do the change and everything like that, it's not okay to vote. It's not okay not to vote. You know what I'm saying? At least local government, like I get, okay, maybe for presidency because it doesn't affect you, right? You know what I'm saying, to all the way down or whatever, because there's a lot of steps before whatever the president says gets to you, right? But at least on local government, no, you got to do it. You got to do it for the people that can't vote and you know, and has fought for it. So I think no, there's not a good time to vote.
Exactly.
That's just
I mean that's just being American. I mean,
right.
It's your civil duty. You know what I'm saying? To do that. I go to jury duty, and people look at me like I'm fucking crazy. Like, why the fuck you want to do that? Just a waste of time. But no, I mean, you know, I was chosen to do that. I feel as though, you know, if I'm American, that's what I have to do. Just like running for president. Anybody could run for president because that's your American right to do that. And just being black, so many people died for us to vote. You know what I'm saying? That's another reason why I myself get out there and figure out what I have to do and who I have to vote for. And if you got kids, it's very important, you know, because it's your kids' futures, you know. That right there is the thing that kills me the most, you know. If you got some cousin that's always going to jail and he has a fucked up judge he always sees, and if you know that judge is
voted,
he's voted in. They don't just motherfucking let judges, you know what I'm saying, be judges. You have to vote them in. Vote them out.
So Trey Scott asks why in the comments. Thank you. Why? Because if you are registered and don't vote, they're going to purge you from the vote. They're going to purge you from the roster. Then when you do want to vote, you'll be denied. That is that comment epitomizes the reason why we need to vote locally, because the election, like, the head of the election board is an elected official. Like, y'all need to really study, and maybe when I have time, I don't have a whole lot of time, but when I have time, I will chart out for y'all why, like, locally, the shit that's elected and the shit that you vote for and the shit that you really need to, like, study and understand who you're voting for. Like, yeah, there's a whole lot of lower level positions that are on the ballot when you go to vote for president. We don't even really fucking need a president. Like, that's not what we need. I need y'all to study the lower level positions, the local positions, the judges, the head of the electoral board, the sheriffs, like that, like the mayors, the governors that actually affect what's going on in your location. That is what makes change. It doesn't kind of really matter other than our president being an asshole, and that's only like now.
Right.
It doesn't really fucking matter who you vote for president, because that person, like Trump says, I think I read today or heard today that, or the other day, that he's gonna try to, no, it wasn't the schools because schools give money. It was something that he said that was like he doesn't even have control over that. Something that was controlled at a local level by the governor and the mayors of the towns. The president doesn't have that much power, y'all. So let's not focus on that. Let's look at for Kanye, fucking Donald Trump, fucking Joe Biden. Fuck that shit. You vote for who you vote for, and we get what we get. But locally, the judges that will adjudicate your cousin who's been falsely accused, or like, please just research, do your studies on who you're voting for locally.
I used to be one of those super woke zealots that
I think
we've all been a wokey mind at one time or another.
Before that, I was a zealot. I was, when people would say I was pro-black, I'm like, what is pro-black? I haven't received my check yet. Pros get paid. I'm just conscious. But I think an annual listen to L. Heisman Lee, El Shabazz, aka BKA, Malcolm X's speech, Ballad of the Bullet. We need a 21st century interpretation of Ballad of the Bullet. And now at 49 years old in the 21st century, I feel that you need the ballot and the bullet.
Whoa. You
have to have both.
Yeah. And Rob didn't see that.
And this is why. Because
do it again. Yo, Scotty, man, do that again for Rob, because I think Rob might have missed it.
You need the ballot or the bullet. You need both.
Is that the good FN, brother?
Yes, sir.
That's a good. That's an FN tactical. I know my shit when it comes to guns. Yes, I do.
45, the hot one.
Okay, got you. Okay.
Yo, what I would think is right here. Why does that gun look like a baby 380 in Scotty's hand? He's a big person. You know what I'm saying? Because I would have had to have a shoulder holster. I would have pulled that same gun up. I would have had the shoulder holster.
Then he is the only. He is the only cat I know that can put his finger around the trigger guard in the front.
The trigger.
I got the Delta Point Pro on that, Rob.
Yeah, I see that. I saw that. It looks good, man.
Like in one hand.
The reason I missed that is because I actually was writing down Ballad or Bullet to remind me to watch that later. I think I need to watch that again. That's why I was looking down to write that. That's why I missed when he brandished. I heard what you were saying and I agree. We need the ballot and the bullet. If you've been following me, you had the prop. You had the prop.
And that was for you, Rob. That was all for you.
I appreciate it. I appreciate that because y'all know I'm Mr. Second Amendment. Mr. Second Amendment
Rob in the streets.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. All right. Let me speak on the Second Amendment. Any chance I get to speak publicly, I was an English major, so I'm a word nerd. I really, really, really pay attention to the words. And when you listen to the president, when he pushed all those people out of Lafayette Park, he made a reference to the Second Amendment. And I'm scrambling in my brain. I'm like, why would Orange Foliage talk about the Second Amendment? And then I looked at what had transpired over the course of the last few weeks and who was standing in opposition to stay in your house. It was the angry baby men, and they were out armed to the teeth with their AR-15s, going up to the state capitals, looking into the face of the law and telling them your laws don't apply to me. They literally said that. Mm-hmm. If you look at the wording of the Second Amendment, the word militia is in the wording of the Second Amendment. Mm-hmm. Who were the people armed to the teeth going out to these state capitals? The militia.
Militias.
So when he's speaking to them, he's basically telling them, just in case these monkeys turn into gorillas out here, you will have your guns to be able to stave off the zombie black folks apocalypse.
I am always a gorilla, yeah.
You will be on. If you're gonna be a monkey, be a gorilla, but be a silverback. Don't just be one of the lesser monkeys. Be a Beaumont Ghana. I'm going all the way back to the 70s.
Right. The Tarzan. Reference.
What's my man on Flash? Gorilla Grodd.
Gorilla Grodd.
Be Gorilla Grodd. That's who we are. If you're gonna call us monkeys, we're gonna be Gorilla Grodd out here. Super intelligent, genius level. And we're not gonna be out here just acting the fool and tearing up. And when they give us credit, like it's so many things that we could talk about, but y'all got me on one now. When they give us credit for rioting, I'm like, Boston Tea Party, that was a riot. The last time one of your sports teams didn't win and you tore America up and destroyed cities, but that's just boys being bad.
Oh, they're spirited. They're being spirited.
Somebody dies. That's when we riot. Not because the Eagles didn't win the Super Bowl.
Oh, worse than spirited. They drunk.
Yeah. Right.
They drunk.
Go ahead, Scott.
That's worse than spirited. They drunk.
They drunk.
So I get tired of them giving us credit. We're the most violent. Everything that you have gained in the world, we may ransack a city, you ransack the planet. I respect your gangster. A whole entire planet, you ransack a couple of times. You ransacked it twice because the first world was Europe, the second world is the United States, and you haven't conquered the third world because you had brothers like Toussaint Louverture who kicked you out of Haiti, and y'all still hate them. To this day, France is still every chance they get.
Yo, I just watched a video that explaining the reparations that the citizens of Haiti and the government of Haiti had to pay back to France until 1957. Mm-hmm. Like that shit is crazy. It is crazy.
But the crazy. Hate is real. When Bill Clinton was in office, the sugar futures were up for who gets the sugar futures. Do the people, does it go back to the people, or do they sell them off to individuals?
Exactly.
The French called Bill Clinton and told him, do not give it back to the people. They still big mad because they lost that war to a bunch of brown people. Still big mad. And they gave the futures to some individual bought them, so Haiti's still dirt poor. Exactly. That's what we need to understand as not as a people, not just black people, but as a society, the far reach of systematic white supremacy.
Yeah.
When they get you, they got you.
Yeah. What happened to all that money that was sent to Haiti that was under the jurisdiction of the Clintons? What happened? What happened to all that money, bro?
That's a rhetorical question, right?
Yeah, it's still fucked up, man.
It's rhetorical.
Yeah. I mean, Haiti, I mean, even local, even closer to home, Puerto Rico.
Yep.
Puerto Rico's in the United States,
right?
And they allow a place in the United States. I never thought that we would see a worse response than Katrina, but in Puerto Rico we did.
Yep, absolutely.
6-7 months without power.
You say. Some say worse response. Some say what response. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, you're here with Straight to Tape, and look, we have a great guest in the house with us, DJ Scotty Rock. Yo, Scotty, I got a question for you, bro. All right. Now, I saw this quote. You might know the person that dropped this quote, but I want to ask you, what does this quote mean to you? All right. History is not a weapon to bash the ignorant over the head. It is an opportunity to enlighten and open minds of the mentally enslaved.
That was me. That was one of mine. That was one of mine. It was born. It was born out of the battle of the Confederate monuments. One of my mantras that I came up with that I live by is facts over feelings. Always. If you're in your feelings, you could go from happy to sad in a split second. But facts don't change. Rain is wet, sugar is sweet. Facts never change. So I wanted to give people opportunity. Like if I was asked, I went to Henderson, North Carolina, to support the brothers and sisters about taking their statue down, their monument down, and it was removed. Praise God. So a white man asked me, he said, "Do you know the history behind those statues?" I said, "Sure. I know the Daughters of the Confederacy put them up. I know that the Daughters of the Confederacy are the propaganda wing of white supremacy in America.
In the 50s and 60s, far past like Reconstruction.
The majority were during Jim Crow. The one in my town stood for 117 years. They were made literally to terrorize and intimidate Black people as a symbol, to terrorize and intimidate. Because even though they lost, they won. And that's what they were telling us. Like, we still gonna be able to kill you. We still gonna be able to lynch you, beat you, burn your houses down. We can do whatever we want to do. And even though we lost from seceding from the United States, we're a nation within a nation still.
It is, so, and it's so telling of the fact that it's not just the free labor that they lost, right?
No,
it is the need and the want to dominate another race.
This is the question I have, but the point of that passage that I wrote was to basically tell Black people, don't go talking to white people with your feelings. Who cares about your feelings? Bust them down with the facts. When you got the facts, you don't have to get loud and cuss and be angry. I get delivered the way I delivered those facts to you. I delivered them to him. I wasn't angry. The way I delivered them to you, I delivered them to the mayor of Oxford when we had our meeting with her. It's like you gotta break them.
Yeah, I don't.
So let's go back
of which,
and talk about what happened.
So,
lay it out.
So we had we have a group of progressive individuals, intelligent individuals of different age groups in Oxford, and the organization is FIST, Fighting Inequity, Standing Together. And we decided that was going to be our first thing we wanted to tackle. All of us agreed on that goal to get rid of the statue. Now, it was a community win. There were several groups that got together to get that statue removed. We just happened, our timing, we came in, we probably were the last ones because we met with her the Wednesday before the Friday when our allies climbed those 30-foot monuments and tore them down in Raleigh. Mm-hmm. So, but we went to the mayor telling her, we're not asking you to take it down. We're demanding that you take it down.
Yeah.
And she agreed, and that they needed to do something. They had to do something because in the 70s, they had it moved. So 50 years ago, they had it moved from the center of town like it is in most North Carolina towns. They moved it to in front of the library. That was a concession that they made. We, being the children, the nieces and nephews, friends and family of those people, the pioneers from the previous era, from the Jim Crow era, we decided it's time for it to be removed. And that's the aim that we went. And we told her we wanted a diplomatic solution to the problem. I can't catch a charge and lose my job. So I'm not going out here to tear down.
We got lives to live, yo.
Exactly. So I'm not going to go out here and tear down go tear a statue down, catch a charge, lose my job, when I can use this right here and these right here to do it. So interesting point. Our former mayor, who a lot of black folks voted for, voted for, took a picture of me and I posted on Facebook. He didn't tag me, so I tagged him.
Name check. You want to name check this former mayor?
Oh, Al Woodler. Yes, he's not a friend of mine. We won't be drinking beer anytime ever. So I'm good on that. And so he posted on his Facebook page, this small group of people had this statue removed, and I'm summarizing it with just words. That was a dog whistle that he blew to all the wrong thinking white people in Oxford. In other words, he's saying, we thought they were going to go monkey and take it down and tear up our town, but they were diplomatic and they used their words. They speak so well.
Yeah.
Well, you're dealing with the group of people who took full advantage of all the suffering that our brothers and sisters went through in the past. And we went to school, got educated, learned words like connotation and denotation.
Ugh.
So even when you are trying to hide what you're saying, I see right through, like I have Dakota glasses on.
Yeah.
So
Yep. It's
Yo,
the life
Scotty,
we live, friend. It's the life we
Scotty,
live.
That comes from hip hop. That comes from back in the days when we were wordsmiths. You know, when somebody dissed somebody, they threw it subconsciously in there. Yeah, you know what I'm saying, and you would catch it. They're doing the same thing, but they're not knowing that, you know, we catching it. All you're doing is rhyming, but we catching what you're saying. You know what I'm saying? You might be saying it, you know, you might be throwing some butter on that toast, but you know, we catching
still,
you know,
toast, nigga.
Not bad meaning bad, but bad meaning good.
Good, exactly, right? Exactly.
There it is.
So and these young kids and that's why I try to instill in my kids that it's important to know what you're talking about and to read and to comprehend. You know what I'm saying? Comprehension is so lacking in this youth. You know what I'm saying? I'm not just talking about black. I'm just talking about, you know what I'm saying, whites and
full comprehension, because they think they know, but they have no idea. Exactly. Like my son, he's 16, almost 17, and he works at a retail store, and that's frequented by Karens, I can say, but
they like to be called the Karens.
The Karens. It's frequented by the Karens. And yesterday he texts the family group chat that he wants to quit because his white managers are basically profiling black people. So the store he works at is not like, you wouldn't, I shop there, but that's me. But it's not like a standard. It's not a Target or a Walmart or whatever.
Crafty shit.
And right. And I feel him. Like, I completely feel him. Like, he's uncomfortable. Like, he said, I'm uncomfortable, but I told him, we fight. We don't quit. So we're gonna give you some talking points to go to those managers that profile black people for like they think black people are stealing from the store, like, and then you quit. Like, it is what it is. But
Keisha, is that the issue? No. Because I'm gonna tell y'all something. Durham, I love the Bull City. That's my second home. I love Durham. Durham is dirty. And I saw something in like 90. I'm a sophomore in college. I saw something at Spencer's that blew my mind. So it was a salt and pepper team. White boy, black kid. They go into Spencer's. The black kid goes in and is as suspicious as he can possibly be. The white boy is on the other. While all the attention is on him, the white boy is robbing them blind.
Yeah. But that's why we fight. That's why we fight. And a lot of times I think, because I grew up in a white neighborhood, went to white schools, a lot of times they don't realize their implicit bias. And there's a difference. Like, everybody steals from every type of black, white,
Asians.
But you
Asians,
only want to stop us. Like you don't want black people
exactly,
to steal anything,
exactly,
but you let white
exactly.
people steal everything.
Exactly.
It's
So
like
that's
you
why
said.
we don't quit.
Yeah,
That's why we don't quit. We have conversations. So
right, what it is. Your son. You just hit the nail right on the head. Like, no, you guys are showing implicit bias. It's as simple as that. That's something that they cannot take away from off of that. Like, because I'm sitting here looking at you. I work here every day. I'm sitting there looking at you. Target black person after black person after black person. What I would do is this right here. I would have your son secretly go ahead and record every time they have that incident over the past, because what you can't deal with, you can't fuck with numbers. Over the last month, I put a check mark on how many black people we've profiled in the business. And then because you can't rock with numbers, I just had a conversation with my younger brother on my birthday or whatever. And he gave me great talking points going forward.
Remember that? Do you remember that conversation?
I do remember the conversation. My brother said I like to win. I like to win conversations. So when it comes down,
he did say that. He did say that.
It's true.
He likes to win. He likes to win when it comes down to conversation. So what he does, if you bring him an issue like police brutality, he doesn't bring race into it. He brings numbers, facts.
Right.
Like it was like one of the facts. One of the facts was this right here. He was like, if we train police better, then we wouldn't need that. And this is how you do it. Anybody can be a police officer. Let everyone be a police officer that wants to be a police officer, but don't give everyone that's a police officer a gun until they go through certain training. And then when you get through that certain training part, then we'll give you a gun. Outside of that, we'll give you some pepper spray and a stick. Now, you police with the pepper spray and the stick, because if you,
I don't mean to interrupt you, but a lot of societies outside of the United States, that's what they have.
Yep.
Exactly. Police don't have guns. They run around. Regular beat police don't have guns.
But what they do have
everywhere. Actually, everywhere outside the United States.
You know what we need to do to fix, if we want to fix this almost overnight, just get rid of the slave patrol. Abolish the slave patrol.
Mm-hmm.
It's two different police forces. There's the police force, and then there's the slave patrol. And the slave patrol, you remember in Ice Cube said it best. The slave patrol's job is to serve, protect, and break a nigga's neck. That's what they do. That's what they do. There is a component of the police force that is okay with harassing black people, with killing black people. It's not just the men. It's not Breonna Taylor. Why are her killers still walking around? They walked in and straight up executed that woman in her own home, and they were dead wrong, like Big and Small.
Yep.
And there's no, like, the outrage. It went up and then it went away. Like, we should be really screaming. This was a woman, one of our sisters, that they murdered in her own house. And it's amazing that when we deal with these issues, it's so much emotion tied to it. Once the emotion dies down, then we get apathetic. And somebody just said, talking about people having guns. I know everybody's not a Christian, but when your boy Peter cut that centurion's ear off, he didn't borrow a sword. He came in with a sword. He had his own. Mm-hmm. There's a quote in the Bible that says, if you don't have a sword, and I believe it was Jesus, if I'm not mistaken, if you don't have a sword, sell one of your cloaks and get one. In other words, we're in a society now where the predators are walking around with the brother in Georgia. They hunted him down. They literally kept driving their trucks in front of him until they impeded him until he couldn't move. And then they jumped out and shot him dead. Well, trust me, my mantra is, if we going to meet Jesus, we going to meet Jesus. You're not
both of us.
Yeah,
all going.
And I know, and I mean, Rob, I got the P365 XL, so I got 16. If it's 17 though, you might get me, but I got 16 that we can go to, we can get at it.
Yeah, I'm rolling with that that for my EDC, my everyday carries, that Glock 45 9mm, 17 round magazines, and I carry extra mags. So I'm at least, you know what I'm saying,
I'm
60 plus rounds on me at any given time.
I'm walking around.
Could I ask a question? Would you guys because this is one of the comments, police carry guns because people do? No, police, it's like this, because it's like this. No. I'm gonna say this right here. But would you guys carrying guns on you at all times? Have you ever thought, a cop is stopping me, I'm gonna pull my gun out and shoot him because I don't want to have this cop stop? No,
right.
People, I'm saying this right here. It's like this. People, I'm gonna tell you this right here. As a person that has had friends, and Scotty can tell you this, have had friends deep in the underworld of drug dealing and everything like that. You know what I'm saying?
Nefarious person.
We are automatically assumed to be the
right. Well, no, I'm right. No, I'm talking about all. I'm talking about this. I'm talking about all races, creeds, and colors. It's like this. No one that does any criminal activity wants the issue to be shooting at a police officer. Like, you know what, if somebody with a gun will do, if you do a traffic stop, they have a whole trunk load of cocaine. Guess what they're going to want to do? They're going to want to run. So it's like this. If you're not going to shoot me, I'm pulling off because you're not a danger. It's all about danger. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying cops shouldn't have guns. I'm saying absolutely the right cop should have guns. The ones that have gone through the training, because again, what we have in this place is like this. What we have in this place is a bunch of police officers that aren't trained enough to handle the stress of handling a job, and they get trigger happy.
Being a police officer,
right? That's what I'm saying. Like this. It's okay to be afraid. It's like this. What it is, yes, you're scared. You're scared. I understand you're scared.
You a punk. And you had your ass whipped. You got
but what I'm saying is right here, because I'm not going to. What I want to do is this right here. I want to get down to the bottom line of the human element. You did this right here. Now, if we got this propaganda that has been fed to you all your life about a certain group of people, of anybody, criminals themselves, it's like this. Because at the end of the day, in a cop's description, when people say, "Oh, well, the criminal did this, that, and did all this," right? And I'm saying, I asked the question: is the cop's job to kill criminals or apprehend criminals?
Absolutely. You're right.
Where is that at? That's my question. Is your job to kill criminals, to shoot at criminals, or is it to apprehend them? Because that's the reason why you got a radio and all that stuff. This is no longer the Wild Wild West. I don't have to tie you to my horse or anything like that. So my question is this right here. That's where we have to get police training in. Yes, I want Americans to have their guns. I want them to have their guns. I want them to have them. You can have your gun, because guess what? Because we talk numbers. Most people that have guns don't shoot at police
at all.
Right. At all. Most people that have guns don't shoot at other people. Let's really talk about that. Most people that own guns in their home, that, you know what I'm saying, don't go out there shooting at other people. So when you put those statistics up there, why do our police? And then when you say, okay, all right, then at the end of the day, when you stop, when you have these traffic stops and all that stuff, why is it that you're drawing your weapon on a traffic stop? Because if we go by statistics, most traffic stops are non-violent traffic stops, unless you're doing a vice traffic stop where you're actually going in knowing that this person is a dangerous person, or you're going to look for drugs and money and stuff like that. Okay, I understand. That's for your protection, because these people, you are doing a service to say, hey, you got drugs. But if you stop them, if you just pulling somebody over for speeding, why is your hand on your gun? People are not necessarily dangerous people. I'm talking about people at all. Right. You know what I'm saying?
But Bishop, let me speak on this. Is the politics. I call it the politics of being big. Tico is tall, maybe taller than me. How tall are you, Tico?
6'3".
6'3". I'm 6'6". Rob's a big guy like me. They're not going to use. They start with deadly force with a cat my size. I'm 260 pounds, 6'6". No cop wants to tangle with me. Period. They do not want a physical altercation with me. So it becomes either I'm gonna die if it goes sideways, or it's gonna be a very closed casket because they're gonna fill me up with bullets. I already know this coming in. So, but with the cops, Bishop, my question is this: Rob and I have our concealed carry permits,
right?
And they tell you in the class that if you have to shoot somebody, you better make sure your life is in, what's the words, Rob? Imminent
danger.
Danger.
Of death or grave bodily harm.
Exactly. And I feel that cops should have to operate under those same rules. You can't just pull, a man is about to shoot you with a taser and you have a partner, at the very least you'll piss or crap yourself and be embarrassed because it's on tape. But the other cop, you didn't have to shoot that man 3 times in his back. He's a drunk running away. Drunks can't run that fast.
Right.
They can't run back to the radio. Don't nobody outrun the radio.
Nobody outrun the radio. Exactly. So when you look
in his back. Let's be clear, it was in his back.
A man has a knife. He's that brother was about 25, 30 yards away, and that cop blew him away. That man, unless he's like a karate man, he cannot throw a knife and kill you. The knife probably wouldn't reach you if he threw it at you. So where is the imminent danger of your life? You are shooting people. People are bringing knives to gunfights, and you have the gun, and they die. And people, it's no question why they die.
My thing is this right here, but I also want to do this because something that was brought up in my kind of on the same to jump on the piggyback of that. Me and my brother discussing. He was like, "What needs to do is this right when it comes down to that training. If you're gonna pull your gun out, then you have to absolutely have a reason why you felt that person was dangerous enough for you to pull your gun on them."
Right. And to speak to Amber's comment, it is a normal procedure, like what y'all were talking about before. Yeah. Normal procedure that needs to change, that changes with people voting.
Right.
But
that's getting people officials. That right there, Amber, is why people are being killed. And I'm not just saying black people. I'm saying anybody as a criminal. Cops aren't supposed to come out there and shoot you.
They are not. They're not executioner. They're not.
They are not your. You know, it's like this. I don't care what crime you did, because guess what? Because it's a due process. They. You know what I mean? And good policing is show.
Absolutely.
I'll show you what good policing is. When a homie shot up the church and was able to, and when homie shot in the crowd just another couple of weeks ago, when they came and they picked him up and they put him in cuffs. That's good policing, because it doesn't matter what crime you did. It doesn't matter what crime you did. That's not the police's job to do such.
But had that been a black man,
right? I'm saying, and what I'm saying is right here. I'm taking race all the way out of it.
We're not if-anding or butting. Nope. We're talking about straight policy.
I'm saying this right here. Policing needs to be better. If you're going to militarize the police, militarize the police. Do it like they do in the military, because guess what happens when you're in the military? We've all seen clear and present danger. We've done that. Remember when Samuel L. Jackson was getting shot with rockets? He was a crowd of people. The terrorists were shooting rockets at his troop. He could not engage till after about 5 of his people died. I'm talking about they were shooting rockets at him and his troop. Hold your fire, because you are shooting at. You're going to be shooting innocent folks. So this is what I'm saying. If you're going to militarize our police, then you need to militarize the training. Then at that point in time, then it's like this. Then you know not to shoot, because guess what? In the military, you can't shoot nobody first unless they shoot at you. You can.
Yes, sir.
So you were talking about statistics,
right?
And it can be used both ways. It all depends on who's formulating the statistics.
Exactly.
Jay-Z said, "Our numbers don't." That's garbage. Numbers lie. Because if you ask the average, I'm just going to say it. If you ask the average poor white person who gets the majority of welfare, I'd almost guarantee, as ignorant as our society is, they would say black people. Mm-hmm. When statistically, it's almost impossible. We're almost 12%. We're 12% of the population. I'm looking at 6 people right now. I'm going to hazard a guess who are not on public assistance and possibly have never been on public assistance. Right. So when you have people who have this, when I tell people I'm 4 times more likely to die from a police encounter than a white person. Black people are 12%, were 12% of the 10% of the population in the 90s, and we were 50% of the prison population. That's bad math. And they will tell me
no, don't call it bad math.
It's
you
math. You gotta listen to the qualifications.
Right.
You gotta listen to the qualifications. This is why I call it bad math. When you look at 10% of the population and they're half of the prison population, and in your same breath, you can say there's no system, there's nothing systematic about that.
Right. Yep.
There's something wrong with your brain, because 10% of the population, that means basically all of us are criminals. I've never been involved with the penal system. Praise God.
Yeah. And it's so apparent in like kind of trudging through the internet world. And there was an issue recently where there was a protest in Chapel Hill, and like it wasn't even a protest, it was a vigil. And a white man comes up and starts beating on a black teenager. And so just the comments in the post from the news was like, well, what was she doing? Why did she die? I don't believe this happened. I don't believe her story. Why don't you believe her story?
What did the victim do? What did she do to get beat like that?
Why don't you believe her story? Right. I mean, and it's clear that the article itself told everything that happened, but why don't you believe her story? Like, why? This is a teenage girl saying she got beat up. Like, I don't understand why you don't believe her story, but I understand why you don't. Here, I understand why you don't believe her story. So well, it is an overwhelming, like, we are seen as criminals. We are seen as aggressive. We are seen as a whole lot of things. And I don't know how we change that.
I want to say this right here. We talk about numbers again. It's like this. I want to know how many, because you know what I'm saying, we talk about criminals and all that stuff. The reason why is because it's like this. To Amber's point, this is what we do. We pay cops a lot more than they're getting paid.
Yeah.
Because we
hold them to a higher standard, right?
Make this point. Norway. I want to say Norway, and y'all can fact check me on this right here. Norway was like 90th in the world in education. So you know what they did? They did education reform. They said, no, teachers have to have a master's degree now to be able to teach. They switched it around. But you know what they did? They stacked those numbers up. They said, okay, but we're going to pay you X amount of dollars now more to get to that point. So what you're doing is this right here. You're not only paying people what they deserve, because I believe that, no, our police officers shouldn't be sitting and running around here all the shit that they do and get paid $40,000. Should know. No, I agree with that. But at the end of the day, I am not letting, you know what I'm saying, letting you carry a gun. Now, if you're gonna make $40,000, guess what? You can't have a gun. You're a $40,000 cop.
Because guess what, people? $40K is not money.
Right.
It's not money at all.
Not in America.
It's not in America. In the US, anywhere. $40K is nothing.
If you're gonna come in at $40,000, that brings a certain amount. That brings a certain you have to want to be a cop to do that. You have to want to be love for that. Some people looking for a job. So if you're looking for $40,000 at a job, that means you're not having a gun. Now we'll let you be a cop, right? But if you want to make more money, you want to start making a difference, you want to make a difference, then you go through these trainings and stuff like that. And absolutely, you should be able to go to training because you're a first responder. You are out here to save people's lives. So anybody out here that's trying to save someone's life, you should get that money up front because you are risking your life. You're jumping into places. You're pulling people out of car accidents and risking your own life to do that. We're not talking about anything.
Fiery car crashes. Yeah,
Right. Yeah, you should get paid.
Let me jump in real quick, and I'm gonna make it short. You asked, what can we do? One thing we can do is control our own narrative.
Right.
That's something else I'm saying. Like this whole black on black crime fallacy.
Doesn't exist. It does not
white on white
exist.
crime, some yellow on yellow crime, and some brown on brown crime. I don't want to hear about this Santa Claus, this myth that you call black on black crime. I grew up in a neighborhood that was 100% black. So if I got in a fight, it was gonna be with a black kid. If I got shot, it would have been by a black person, probably somebody I knew, because I come from a small town in North Carolina.
Right.
So we get caught up. We let them put these labels on us, and so they use them as counter arguments. Everything is not a counter argument. Black Lives Matter. There's no counter argument to that. And if you make one, there's a problem with you. If Black Lives Matter, nobody would have said Black Lives Matter. It wouldn't be
so my whole thing, and I try not to argue with people on the internet. But y'all all laughed. Anyway, whatever.
Amen on a joke.
Whatever niggas. Anyway, so I try not to argue with people on the internet. But the whole Black Lives Matter.
I do too. I just fail.
But listen, so let's liken that to Black Power. The Black Power movement, the statement of Black Power and throwing up the black fist. That has never been likened to hate more so than white power has been likened to hate. And that's something that I try to educate people on, but who, if you receive it, you receive it. So white power has been likened, like it was created in hate. It was created in hate.
What is white power, Keisha? That's a question.
I don't know. I don't know.
That's a question I think when you see these people talking about white power, I'm like, so the people who scream white power, the white supremacists, what do they want? They want to be able to come to Rob's house, come to Bishop's house, come to Tico's house, come to Perry's house, and your house with torches and pitchforks and their guns and pull the men out, rape the women.
Right. It is created and fostered in hate.
And what's
Black power isn't like that. Black power isn't like that.
Finish your point, Scotty.
Dangling this in front of them their entire existence. That's why they created the whole concept of race. The class issue is even stronger. See, for us, it's the racial component. For poor white people, it's the class component, and that's what I've been focusing on. I've been studying class as well. The race part, we got that. We live that. We know that. But the class, the 1% versus the 99%, that's where we need to start doing our research. Because if you want to bring white people into the fold as far as explaining, like, look, y'all got it worse than us, because at least we know.
But they still hold on to that shit.
They still
hold on to that shit, friend.
That's the only thing they got.
They still hold on to it. Like, I'm not, like, right now in this time, I'm not spending my time and energy explaining to whoever about why Black power is about love and love of my blackness and just being able to navigate through these white streets versus white power being a hate symbol. Like, I don't have time for that. And those white poor people that you talk about, yes, they're in the same predicament as we are, but they're still white. And I don't mean that to be racist at all, but they still, that is what they hold on to. They don't want to be united with us. They don't want to be. They
No,
don't want to be.
No.
They still think
It's the
those
same
are.
thing.
Hold on. Those are the only people of the white race that recognize their privilege of being white. Hey, look. They those are the
Ho. Tico, and then one last question for Scotty. Tico.
Yo, that's all I've been kicking ever since we've had this podcast. That's
Mhm.
all I've been kicking.
It is.
Is that if the poor white folks knew that they're in the same boat as we are, because everybody in here wants the same thing. We want to live life. We want to have a good foundation. We want to live prosperous. We want our kids to have a good life and live prosperous too. That's it, down the board. That's what everybody wants, you know. But then, you know, how do you do this? It's art of war. Number one, divide and conquer. So you tell them, yo, you might be poor, but this is why you're poor. You're poor because these blacks took your jobs.
Right.
I'm whispering in your ear. I'm telling you this. I'm whispering in your ear. You know what I'm saying? I'm whispering, this is what's going on. I'm telling you, it's the white, it's these black folks, you know, because of this, you know, they want equal rights and all this, blah, 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 blah.
We didn't sign NAFTA, Tico.
Exactly.
Bill Clinton did, a white man.
Exactly.
And white senators.
Exactly.
That wasn't none.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly.
You're right. And
exactly.
And that's why local elections mean a lot. Like
Everything.
People talk about, I don't need to vote. It's not gonna. These people that are in office currently are the ones that are driving this whole narrative. Like they have their own ideals, but if we vote and we vote people in office that are for us and by us, shout out to Fubu, then we will be successful, because enough of people that think the way we do, and all we want is equity. Like that's like, it's not like and I'm not even talking about reparations, right?
But
I'll take them too. But all I want is equity, like straight equity, equal treatment,
equal access,
equal resources, equal due process. That's it. But you have to vote those people in as Congress people and aldermen, fucking neighborhood representatives, fucking damn whatever. You have to vote them in. You have to vote them in. People who believe in equity, just straight equity. If I'm a black contractor and there's a white contractor going out for the same government job, and the white contractor has a better resume, then the white contractor should get it. But we don't even get to the table. Like, we don't even get to the table. We just want equity. Equity in life, equity in government, equity in due process.
But we just started asking for that.
I asked this right here because again, I want to make everything a human issue, because I see some of the comments and stuff like that about things that are not equitable. We can talk about redlining. Was redlining fair? You know what I'm saying? It's hard stuff to like this. No, it's not enough for you just not to be racist. You might not necessarily, but you have to be anti-racist. We're not asking you anymore not to be racist, but I'm saying, but if we were asking you at the point in time, if you have, because we understand that, listen, you are privileged in America to be born a certain skin color, because what it is, you have people not by your own fault, but we got people out there that we have to agree that we do understand there is racism in America. Like let's talk about that, and we understand there are racist people and people that's been holding power that hold these fucked up truths. Right. So when you have these fucked up truths, and these are people that's in your family, you know what I'm saying? That are your matriarchs, that are your patriarchs of your family that have negative feelings. And this is on every race. This is across the board. This is across the board because we're gonna talk about like Latinos and everything like this. It's like this. We should, if America was the America that America was supposed to be, we should not have a civil rights issue. It's civil fucking rights. We shouldn't have we shouldn't have issue. We shouldn't have the issue that we're having.
Right.
The issue that we're having. You should not have to say my ancestors never owned slaves. And I argue to that point. They may have not owned slaves, but were they abolitionists? Did they come out and they say, did they down slavery? They say, nah, did your people help free slaves? Did your people now outside of that, then you don't have an argument. What it is, it's not for you to do the work. If you want to be, I'll say this right here. We are no longer saying I am not racist. You might not necessarily be racist, but it's time to be anti-racist. It's time to say, listen, I'm
changing you.
I'm sick of talking about black and white issues. Talk about a human issue. If you see someone being treated incorrectly, if you can see someone being treated incorrectly, and you don't stand up to that, you know what I'm saying? It's like, and then if you don't want to do your research, don't argue with me with some, you know what I'm saying? If you're not doing your research, don't come to me with, you know what I'm saying, with this, that. Well, black people had slaves. Guess what? Well, and black people had slaves. Okay, was it a bunch of black people around them? Was that tribalism? You know what I'm saying? I don't care. See, it's like this. What you don't understand is Africans, the people in Africa are people in Africa in different countries. Those are different countries. They just happen to have black skin. Not every black person is African from African descent. So, you know what I'm saying? We're talking about black Americans. What was going on overseas? Because guess what? The gold that run overseas don't got shit to do with here. The gas price in China ain't got shit to do with America.
Yep.
They don't got. So don't bring that shit to here when we say, hey, yo, we've been treated unfairly. Well, I'm not racist. Great. Well, get in line and help us get past this shit so we can shut because we tired of hearing about it too. What it is.
Can I have a Bishop Omega moment?
Oh yeah. In 1 second. Because we're tired of this right here. Because a lot of times it's this right here. If you were, and I'm gonna talk to some of the men. If you ever been caught cheating before, and your girl keep on bringing up the fact that you cheated on, and you be like, man, why you keep bringing that shit up? Because you feeling that guilt. You get mad because you're feeling that guilt because you knew you done fucked up. She bring it up every once in a while. You get mad at it because it's guilty. Every man that's cheated knows what this. That's what white America is dealing with. They're feeling that guilt, and what they out there, they're lashing out because they don't want to feel that feeling that they don't understand that they were wrong. Mm-hmm. All you have to say is, God damn it, I'm wrong. How can we help? How can I help?
No, and not even I'm wrong. You don't have to take on that.
You don't have to say. You don't have to.
I have.
And honestly, and it's like this. And I'm sorry.
I have white friends.
Right. And I'm sorry. Right. And I'm saying this right. And excuse me, I don't mean it. I don't mean to blame it on white people. I'm going to blame it on America. America. So it's like this. When I put it in the broad spectrum, America made these laws. Those shits was here before you were born. You ain't got nothing. We're asking you to help us break down those laws and those ideals that people have. Now, most of those people, some of those people are black. They love these laws because it's making them money. You know what I'm saying? And they're Chinese and they're everything else. But what we got to do is like this. America needs to be, that structure of racism has to be taken down and rebuilt. That's all it is.
Citibank was founded. The large American corporation of Citibank was founded from the funds that Haitians paid since the 1800s up until 1947. Like Citibank was founded on that. So I'm not asking white people to accept the guilt for, I don't fucking want white guilt. I don't want it at all. I want white action. Right? So I like Citibank was founded on the money that Haitians had to pay in order for them not to be slaves anymore.
No, I get you.
That shit is crazy.
I get you on that key. I get you on that key. But on the flip side, is that good business? Business is business. Business is business. Wherever you see that opportunity to get business, most of these companies, these great companies that
business is business, until bodies are involved.
I feel you. Most of these great companies that we put our all in and we follow have had great crimes committed.
But
in
that's
order for these
because
companies
people don't know.
Don't
know.
Exactly.
I don't
But
do
I'm
big
just saying,
business with Citibank.
Tico,
I don't.
All right, yo.
Yeah.
One at a time.
One at a time.
Your point, it's vocabulary words. And Keisha mentioned one earlier. We ask for equality. We're already equal. We're human beings. I don't need equality. We're already equal. I need equity. We asked for integration. They gave us assimilation. Now, to Tico's point, yes, it's not just good business. It's great business. You know why? Because we live in a capitalist society. We are under capitalism. What does capitalism mean? If I'm going to capitalize on you, I'm going to exploit every disadvantage you have to the fullest to profit. That's what we do in America. And so our business system is based on that premise. So business doesn't have feelings for the most part, not true businessmen. They see two colors, red and black, and they try to see as much black as possible and no red. So what we're discussing, yes, historically there are companies that have made trillions of dollars off of misery. In our capitalist society, there has to be a slave component or close to it. People who will work for the bare minimum in order for the bottom line to be realized, a high bottom line to be realized by the companies that are employing them. So this is just where we are. We just happen to be blessed that we're not in the slave class per se. But several of our family members, there are millions of Americans that are in that slave class that work for wages. To hell with minimum wage, they working below minimum wage. They're working on wages that aren't even livable in this country due to a word that another vocabulary word that we heard in the 80s, and it kind of disappeared after the 90s, inflation. I'm off my vocabulary soapbox.
Exactly.
Yo, Scotty, man, real quick, my man. What's next on the agenda for Fist?
We're going to focus on voting. Okay. We have 18 months until our next election. So one plan is we're going to have 4 town halls because people never know who to vote for. So we're going to invite the candidates to our town halls and we're going to ask them some questions, some hard questions. I am on the all skin folk are not kinfolk agenda. So just because you black does not mean you will be getting our endorsement or our votes. That's for sure. I want everybody to understand that. In politics, we are looking at you as one of 2 things. You're either ally or an enemy. There will be no blurring of the lines. You choose which side you want to be on. Now, if you're our ally, you will get all of our support and we will push for you. But you're also going to have to do something for us because we know our votes count. If it didn't count, you wouldn't suppress it. So we know that it matters. It matters greatly.
Are you gonna record it? I'm sorry. Are you gonna record it? So for those that can't make it out there,
the town hall.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. And one thing I encourage all of us. This is something we all can do. You can register online to vote in North Carolina, and if you are a felon and you have all your fees taken care of, you're not on probation. I believe if you're not on probation, that's one of the laws, one of the rules too. I have to look at it, the stipulations, but I'll post it on my page again. You can go down, you can get online, or you can go down to your local office and you can register to vote. That's a hidden demographic that they are not counting on. The 18 to 35 demographic. If we can get a few thousand young folks to vote in every election, just start paying attention to the close races in your town. When people lose, we had a brother lose by 100 votes. That's sad.
Yep.
That's sad. With 20% of the electorate voting, and you only
and for an 18-year-old, if he's gonna be like my son, we went and he was 17 when we did the primary. If they are going to be 18 at the time of the election, now is the time for them to be active. Now is the time for them to be looking at what's going on, researching candidates, and understanding how the process works so that they can vote in November.
Everybody's not going to research the candidates. I realize that. So me and my group, I told them, I said, we're going to have to take it upon ourselves to research and vet these candidates.
Yep.
And when Fist hands you a sample ballot of this is who you should vote for, it's going to be an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper with bullet points of why you should vote for this person.
Mm-hmm.
As far as why we feel you should vote for this person, not just vote for this name, because that hasn't worked for us. We need to have candidates that we can trust and that we can follow. So those are the initiatives. To me, the most important thing right now for all of us in North Carolina will be us galvanizing the black vote. And one thing I think we need to get off of is this just voting for you just because you're a Democrat.
Right.
Right.
Because
absolutely.
they are Republicans. All the Republicans aren't bad, just like all the Democrats aren't good. Mm-hmm. So they're Republicans if they represent your interests. Because if you're a Democrat talking about taking my gun rights away, I'm not voting for you. Period.
Precisely.
Yep.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
You're not getting my vote, because with the history of black folk, I've seen the videos from the 60s, and it's not that long ago.
Right.
A little over 50 years. I've seen 60 years. I've seen the videos. So when you see somebody take a fire hose that's capable of taking the bark off an oak tree, and they spray a black woman or a black man with that, and they're beating us, and these are regular citizens beating on us, putting knots on our heads. Nah. Every black person that can exercise their Second Amendment rights needs to exercise them. Just so in case you run into a bad person, you at least will have a fair one. It just won't be you being fodder or being a lamb to the slaughter.
There it is.
There it is. Ladies and gentlemen, DJ Scotty Rock. Scotty, man, thank you. Thank you for joining us on Straight to Tape today. Keep us informed with what's going on with Fist. Keep us informed with what's going on with you. And definitely, money, flow back through.
Oh, I want to thank you all. You all have a great platform. I think each personality, you all play off each other extremely well. It's an honor and a pleasure for me to be here. I respect you all for what you do. I thank you for being a voice for right. That's your the best compliment I can pay you, because you're only gonna be on one side, right or wrong, and you all are on the side of right. Is you disagree sometimes, but I think you all bring a broad perspective to very complex issues, and that allows everybody to understand these issues, because we all pick a side, but having 5 different opinions, boiling it down, that makes a huge difference. So I appreciate what you all do. I pray that it gets bigger, better, stronger, and I pray that you grow. And I'll always big up Straight to Tape. And anytime you want me on, just let me know. I'll be glad to join this awesome forum. Thank you all.
Yeah, we appreciate that, man. You'll most definitely be back. So thank you very much for agreeing to come on, man. It was an honor for us to have you. You know, we've all been great friends for a long time, man, and we respect your voice too, and we appreciate your voice as well. That's why you are family. That's why you're here now, and that's why you'll be back. So again, thank you, man. Thank you, my brother.
Look at the watch, Bishop. Look at the watch. Even the watch is matching.
You're watching something sick, bro. I like that, bro. I like that.
Yo, Scotty.
Look, I got the Pumas that match it lovely. I
am sure.
The Miami Dolphins.
So as part of our rap, I usually big up the people in the comments. So I'm gonna do just that right now. So I just gotta thank the usual gang that came through. Oh, my man, Sim came through. Thanks, brother. Thank you. Candace is in the building.
Thank you,
you know what I'm saying? Amber was here. Trey, Latricia, Champ. What's up, homeboy? My man Champ Jamal is in the building. Who else we got over here? Who else we got?
My classmate Trey Scott.
Yes, Josh came through as well. Justin, what's up, bro?
Oh, I think we have a new convert because Trey it's my first time seeing him in the comments. And Trey, please make sure you like, follow, and share the page and join us in future broadcasts.
Yep. We also had Jody in the comments. I think I did say Amber. My man Jimmy came through. Jimmy Gold. He came through earlier. That's it, man. As usual, thank you all. Karsten, yeah, thank you as well. As usual, thank everybody that came through in the comments. Hey, listen, our comment sections, the comments be lit. You know what I'm saying? So
y'all wilder than a motherfucker today. I'm gonna tell you that right now. And it's greatly appreciated.
Y'all are in rare form today, and it's going on right now. So I encourage y'all to keep the discussion going. Of course, you have to like the Straight to Tape page on Facebook, and keep the comments going, keep the discussion going. And hey, again, thanks for coming through, y'all. And that's my sign off. Peace.
Yeah.
Peace.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us on another edition of Straight to Tape. Don't forget the audio version that you can find on all your favorite podcasting platforms, SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Podcasts for you goddamn Apple snobs.
Man, look, stop it, bro. Just
stop what?
Listen, stop the hate, bro. You just got You got a brand new Android after like 10 years of having an old ass. You had a 10-year-old phone, nigga.
Oh,
you just got a brand new Android. Stop hating, bro.
I just hope
you had no brand loyalty at all. No brand loyalty at all. You know what you had?
Can I say something real quick? Are you saying people that are we saying that Apple snobs don't exist? Are we saying that?
No,
is that what you're saying?
No, Bishop. What we're saying, Bishop, is all phones matter.
Right. No, nobody said there weren't Apple snobs. I mean, come on.
You can't put me in Bishop or make it like
there are not Apple snobs.
I am an Apple snob.
Yeah.
So like nowadays when I meet a guy and we exchange phone numbers and he doesn't have an Apple phone, it does give me pause.
That's a problem.
That was some good dick because all the good dick is on Android side.
You're right. So yep. I always take that all that into account. That's fine.
Conversely, all the good Il Nana is on the Apple side.
Look, man.
You got an Apple phone, man.
While we on this fucking phone shit, I want to say, man, happy birthday again to fucking Bishop, man. That motherfucker turned 40 and shit, man. So good looking.
Yes,
man.
sir.
You beat the status.
It took this nigga 4 days to recover.
Man, I'm still feeling ill effects. I am never, I'm saying, shout out to my peoples at Creekwater or whatever, the Mystic Distillery, they do that or whatever. So I would invite anyone to go get Creekwater because I know the people there, and I'm saying maybe I could get a free case. But doing shots of Creekwater while your friends toast you and roast you is pretty, I cried twice. I cried 3 times. I cried 3 times.
More than that, sir. Yeah, more than that.
I had a ball, Bishop.
I appreciate
it.
Yeah, Scotty, tell him, man. I'm telling you, man. Look, dude.
It was amazing. Like it was amazing.
Follow behind Tico. I'm like, what can I say? Because I mean, he went in. Like,
it was his time. But I invite everybody to go to the Intelligent Ratchet page right now. My birthday roast the toast is up there right now, so y'all can check it out. The best 2 hours of people that love and hate. Like it was like this. I realize I'm hard to deal with as a friend because I'm an asshole. But these people got me back 100%, and everybody knows this right here. You will be getting severely roasted tenfold because I'm about revenge, and that's what I am. I'm petty as shit.
Oh my
You know what I'm
goodness.
saying?
Yo, Scotty.
So you gonna make us all
Me
hate
and
light-skinned
my
people
friends
even more.
are like my collective friend group is called the Golden Girls, and we have developed a word hove, which means hate and love, HOVE,
Yeah.
and we hove each other so much.
Yeah.
So sometimes we hate us,
Yeah, man.
and sometimes we love us.
Well, H to the Izzo, B to the Izzy. What else can I say about dude? I gets busy.
There's a E on the end of that hove.
I
All
said
right,
Izzy.
all right.
Yeah,
Izzy.
ladies and gentlemen, if your fans are straight to tape, make sure you're checking out Intelligently Ratchet on Wednesday nights, 9 p.m. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Exactly.
ladies and gentlemen, first Bishop, for the new member of the 40 plus club, Bishop Omega.
Yeah, the only
take
motherfucker
my
I
hat
know
off.
that damn
Yes.
still suck venom out of dick bites of victims and shit.
Stop right
Dick
there.
bites?
Stop right there.
Dick bites?
Stop,
Wrap it up.
Wrap
bites.
for the comedian Tico de Gallo.
Yeah, you might not like him, what your mama do.
That was his sign.
That was his sign off.
Cut this nigga's mic off.
Yeah, yo, look, I'm putting it on mute. Look, I'm putting the motherfucker on mute right now.
That
And
nigga right now.
the quintessential hip hop mom, Keisha with a Y.
All I can think about is dick bites.
Slow golf clap for Keisha. Slow golf.
No,
Dick-
yeah, slow. Look,
Dick
slow clap, and the mute button. And of course, my man 50 grand, the social media assassin, #1, Rob Maximus.
I am
Second
Man, go
Amendment
ahead.
champion.
that I am, Scotty. That I am, but I am completely traumatized right now. I mean, every week around this time,
What is
yeah,
the
y'all
dick bite?
notice I be on my wrap it up because I need a moment.
Yeah. Take a moment, bro. Take a moment.
P thinks he can mute me. He can. But I can unmute myself, and I would just like to say that this here week, after us being apart for a few weeks, I miss you guys. I'm
Yeah, I
so
miss
happy
you
to be
too.
back here with you.
Oh, yeah, we missed you
I
too.
miss
We
y'all.
missed you too.
I missed
We
y'all.
missed you too. All right, wrap it up.
And of course,
I
your
love you
man
too, TJ.
Superior Elysia II.
John
As
Henry.
always, ladies, shut up, Tico. As always, let's get active. Be safe. We will see y'all next Sunday. And we are
Wrap it up.
we out this motherfucker. We out this motherfucker
Wrap it
late.
up.
Ladies.
Shout out
Wrap it
to
up.
Butta Team
Later.
for watching.